Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी. We'll read the 54th verse of chapter 2, Arjuna's question. Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthitadhih kim prabhasheta किमासीत व्रजेत किम. When Bhagavan told Arjuna that through Karma Yoga this scattered mind is gathered and is filled with clarity of thought, viveka, and also nirvedam, vairagya. That is only called as purity of mind. This pure mind is ready, capable of gaining knowledge. And through that knowledge, the mind, leaving all its wanderings, agitations, desires, comes and settles down in samadhi. Samadhi means, the samadhi is the name of the self. So the mind settles down in the self. And this is called the ultimate gain of human life, fulfillment of human life. And this is what can be attained, Bhagavan said. So now Arjuna's question, based on whatever he just heard, that this man of realization you're talking about, the one who has reached the ultimate fulfillment of human life, this person, how is he defined? How can we recognize that person? He is called Sthita Prajna, Sthitadhihi, Samadhistha. All these words are used by Arjuna. Say, this man of steady wisdom What is his bhasha? Means what is his paribhasha? What is his definition? How do people recognize him? What are his characteristics? How do people talk about him? How do the scriptures talk about him? Sitaprajnasya ka bhasha. And then he says, Sitadihi kim prabhasheta. And what does he speak? If there are people around, how does he interact with them? What does he speak? Kim prabhasheta. And the beauty of Sanskrit language is that in Sanskrit, the sequence of the words don't matter. You can put them in any sequence, the meaning doesn't change. But there can be connotations that can change. So here, Kim Prabhasheta means what does he speak? This is the meaning. But if we just swap the word, Prabhasheta Kim, does he speak? So meaning what does he speak remains intact, but also this meaning of does he speak or is he always silent? So if it is there, then I can immediately find out, this person speaks. Fail. Not a sthita prajna. So it is so, but no. So does he speak? Does he not speak? And these are the type of questions. It is not Arjuna's, but our question also. There was a very hilarious letter that Puja Gurudev has written. Somebody had asked him that, I want to know about you. Please tell me about you. I had written, I read it as a chick many years ago. Must be somewhere on the internet also. He's written that I am a sannyasi, but I am also a human being. I get up in the morning. I take baths twice a day. I eat food normally. So like that, it goes on and on, saying that all the activities that you have questions that what will this sannyasi be doing, I do everything that you also do. But then he brings out beautifully that how things are different. So it is the internet kind of climatic condition that is different. Otherwise, externally, I am exactly same. So beautiful, very hilariously, Gurudev has replied to that letter. So here, this, does he speak? Does a realized master ever speak? If he speaks, what does he speak? If people go and ask questions, does he respond? Or just says? What does he do? Prabhasheta kim? Or kim prabhasheta? Same way, kim asita? Kim asita means where does he sit or how does he sit? That is one. Or does he sit? Or he's all the time wandering? Because we have these notions that, wandering monks never sit. Oh, they don't get tired of it. They need to sit sometimes. They're wandering monk. All the time wandering. So do they sit? If they sit, where they sit, how they sit? About sitting. Then, vrajeta kim? Kim vrajeta? Do they move about? And if they move about, where do they go? Which direction they go to? And if they go, why do they go there? And if there only, then why not there? All these different kinds of questions. So all this put together, the second line of questions is what? That man of steady wisdom who is interacting with the world, how is he living in this world? Interacting with others, other objects, other things, other people. How is he interacting? This is one. And the first line is from his own standpoint. Left alone, how does he live? So, how do the scriptures describe him? Ka bhasha, ka paribhasha. So, this is how it is asked. Now, if we understand this question, further, if we think about this question, when we talk about left to himself, how is he? And with the world, how is he? Now, is this two different questions or is it the same? If we understand, it is only our inner vision that decides our interaction or action. How one acts in the world outside will depend on what is the vision one has within. So based on the vision, there is action, there is interaction. So the second line actually is dependent on the first line. This question, the second line question is Kim prabhasheta, kim asita, vrajeta kim. That is dependent on Sita prajnasya ka bhasha. Who is that man of wisdom? By himself, who is he? And when he is with people, based on that, who is he will interact. Now, if we understand, look at what Bhagavan's words have done to Arjuna. If you look at the depth of this question, how Arjuna's mind has got completely aligned with Bhagavan. Just this much, few verses. What has happened? Now, what was Arjuna's question or what was Arjuna's confusion? In the first chapter, in detail, he has himself expressed. What was his confusion? He wanted to see warriors and he ended up seeing relatives. And because he saw relatives, he became their relative. Therefore, he ceased to become a warrior. And because he was not a warrior anymore and he was a relative, his responsibility as a warrior ended there and he started justifying his misconstrued, misplaced pity to be the right thing. And he says, now I will not fight because you should not kill your own family members. But here, family member only because you consider yourself their family member. Otherwise, what is your role? Left to yourself, who are you? You are a warrior. That's how you came here. What is the cause for which you are fighting? Not just little bit of land and the kingdom. You are fighting for justice. You are fighting for dharma. So that role was lost by oneself. Who is he? That is lost, and because of that, he is confused and he is not able to act accordingly. Now his question has this refinement. According to Bhagavan's all this explanation, it has not gone waste, because we may say all this Bhagavan said that about the Supreme Self and Jatasya Hidro Mrityuho and all these things, whatever he said, and he said about Na Jayate Mriyate Va Kadachit, all this he said, it was all waste because Arjuna could not understand. No, it has made its impact. Now his question itself is framed like that. First, who is Asthita Prajna? His independent role. Then his activities, actions. So he has got the concept, he's got it. So he may be still not convinced about himself fighting, that's a different issue. But what Bhagavan wanted to say, Arjuna has got it. That's the beauty. So he is asking, who is Asthita Prajna role, and does he sit, talk, move about, means his action. So vision, action. From the man of knowledge standpoint, vision, action. And from an ignorant standpoint, role, responsibility. So he's got it. And he is asking this question so beautifully. Now, Arjun is not listening to all these things for the first time in his life. He has studied Upanishads. If he had not studied Upanishad, why would Bhagavan quote from Kathopanishad and say, see, I am telling you valid things, it is not something new that I have brought out today. And he quoted mantras from the Upanishad. Why? Because Arjuna was familiar with those words. Although it did not impact him when he was studying, because that time it was not need-based. Here it is need-based, therefore Bhagavan is converting that knowledge, presenting that knowledge that is directly applicable to Arjuna. That is the charm of the Gita. The knowledge remaining the same pure knowledge, it is presented in such a way that a person in the battlefield of life is able to apply it directly. So it seems to be something new, but there is nothing new. It's the same old knowledge, but beautifully presented. So here, Arjuna's question, when he is asking, the words that he is using also shows his understanding of whatever Bhagavan has so far said. One is this concept of role and responsibility or vision and action. Second is, what did Bhagavan say? Through Karma Yoga, you attain purity of mind, Chitta Shuddhi. And with that pure mind, when you pursue knowledge, this knowledge will lead to abidance in the self, which is the fulfillment of life. So now, this knowledge, what is this knowledge? What do we have to do? What is pursuit of knowledge? What are the sadhanas? What are the spiritual practices? What are the steps of gaining that knowledge? Arjuna is familiar. How do we know he is familiar? Because he has used words. Now first let us be familiar, then we will see the words. In the pursuit of knowledge, after all the preparatory means which is already dealt with here as Karma Yoga, in the pursuit of knowledge, what does one do? Starts with Shravanam, listening. You listen, and when you listen, we understand that what the scriptures want to say. So I did not have any idea of something other than the body called the self. I did not know at all. Now I know that there is something other than the body, self, and that is me. That's what the scriptures say. Now I know what the scriptures say. But whatever the scriptures say, I am not able to experience. I have so many doubts. How can that be? The scriptures say I am not the body, but I feel all the time I am the body. How is it possible that I am not the body? Doubts come. And when these doubts based on our experiences and the difference that I see in the scriptural knowledge comes, then based on that, I want to resolve these doubts. How can I resolve them? The next step of reflection, that is called mananam. So by mananam, what happens? All the doubts are dispelled. So by Shravanam, what happens? I am very clear, this is what the scriptures have to say. Clear, steady. Then next, doubts also agitate me a little bit. Then when I reflect, mananam, the mind is again there. And questions are raised by whom? The doubts are raised by whom? The intellect. So the intellect has to be calmed down with answers. So through reflection, all that is gained, and then the intellect becomes steady. Then is the end of it? No. Now I have doubtless knowledge, but still I am not able to abide in that knowledge. I know I am not this body. I know I am the pure self, but still I am not able to experience it all the time. So what do I do? So this is because of long-term habitual error of considering myself as something different than myself. So therefore, I have to practice. Any habit can be changed by another habit only. So this practice is called nididhyasana or practice of meditation, contemplation. So this sadhana will ensure that this long term, and long term does not mean few years in this lifetime, long term means few lifetimes. So this long term wrong notion is gone by this practice of meditation, where I get abidance in this doubtless knowledge. So Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasana. Shravanam, I get clarity of what the subject matter of the scripture is. So I have no doubts about what the scripture wants to say about the subject matter. So knowledge is clear. Okay. Then second is doubts are cleared by mananam, reflection. So mind is, the intellect is steady. Now it is not raising any more questions. It is convinced, it is calmed down. And the third is the mind is abiding in the self through nididhyasanam or contemplation. Now Arjuna has used words for all these. What does he say? Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. The sthita prajna indicates the one who has done shravanam. Because through shravanam, the prajna, the knowledge is sthita, steady. That scriptures want to say this, this is the subject matter. I am not this body, I am the self. Yes, I know. Shravanam, it is indicated. Shravanam is indicated that this person who has done shravanam. Okay, then Sthita dhi kim prabhasheta. Dhi buddhi. Sthita. So Sthita means sthira. Sthira buddhi. So that buddhi is stable. Why? All the doubts have been dispelled. So the one who has done mananam, he is indicated by that word. And samadhisthasya keshava. Samadhistha, one who is established in samadhi. What is samadhi? The self. And how can you get established in the self? Through practice of samadhi meditation. So the one who has done nididhyasana. So these three words, Arjuna has converted his own knowledge with whatever Bhagavan has said and understood that this person who is called the man of realization or man of steady wisdom, Sthita Prajna, is the one who has done Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam after Karma Yoga. So what? Here we say Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Best teacher, the world teacher. After he teaches, you think any knowledge, any doubts will be there. Arjuna has got it. Oh, got it, then why such a... No, this is second chapter. After that, 16 more chapters are there. Why? If he has got it. This is the beauty. He has got it. Now he is not thinking about, I don't want to fight, I don't want to fight. That is there. A little bit of difficulty to accept is there still. Because just because some scripture tells us something, does our thought process change immediately? No, it takes time. But now Arjuna is engaging in this dialogue of knowledge. He is not saying, I don't want to do anything. You say whatever you want to say. I am going to be quiet. No. Tushnim babhuvaha, tushni bhava, that state of dejection and inertia, he has come out of it. Now he is asking questions, he is participating in this whole dialogue. That itself is success. And what is he asking? He is not asking something very silly. He is asking about the highest man of realization. Fulfillment of human life. How does it look like? I want to know. Give me a picture of it. What a beautiful thing. Now, who would ask such a question? Is a person who has knowledge, can such a person ask this question? One who has knowledge won't ask such a question because he already has the knowledge. So why would he ask, how is that man of knowledge described in the scriptures? There was a very interesting one. Babaji was there in Hardwar or somewhere. He was a self-realized person. And everybody knew him, they revered him. He used to be alone, he used to be moving about, and everybody loved him. He loved everyone around. So he used to just roam around near the Ganges in Haridwar. And one day, and everybody knew he was self-realized. One day he had a book and he was reading. So people were intrigued, what is this? This Baba, he has achieved whatever has to be achieved. No more, nothing is required. And then what is he reading? So somebody went, peeped, and so he was reading some Upanishad. He was reading Upanishad. Why does he need to read Upanishad? So then somebody mustered up some courage and asked, Babaji, why are you reading this Upanishad? So he said, I just am seeing what they have written about me. Self-realized person. What does he need? Nothing else. So he will not ask what does a man of knowledge be like and all. He doesn't need to ask. Who is asking? An ignorant person. Why is that ignorant person asking? Because he is highly inspired. That, oh, this is such a glorious thing and my human life is fulfilled with this. I want to know more about it. What does it feel like? What does it look like? I want to know. So now an ignorant person who doesn't have any idea of what would that state of knowledge look like wants to know that state of knowledge which is beyond words and description. Now, how to describe? And the question also is a beautiful demand. What is the demand? Tell me what he is like by himself and what he is like with the world. Both I want to know. So, what is his vision and how does he interact with the world? And this is very normal demand. This is nothing that he is extra demand he is having. No, even when we study, for example, chemistry, somebody says, okay, this element, let us say calcium, or calcium, or potassium, or sodium, or whatever. What are its own properties? So in this temperature, it will be like that. If you know, in it by itself, it is a liquid or a solid or it is found. So many things will be there. It is a gas by nature. So many such things will be. It is stable, it is unstable. All these properties by itself, there will be some things. Then the second thing will be when it reacts with acid, what happens? When it reacts with some basic substance, what will happen? And somewhere gas is released, somewhere some water is released, somewhere it produces lot of heat, all these things. So how does it react with other things? And by itself, what is its property? So same way here also. And an ignorant person is asking. And there is no way. And what is the challenge? You cannot describe it. As in Gurudev's words, God defined is God defiled. You can't. Beyond words, beyond description. And you still have this challenge. And some student very sincerely in that moment of inspiration is asking, I want to know, please tell me. Ignorant person only will ask such a question. So Bhagavan teaches us to understand that an ignorant person only can ask a question. So don't refuse to give knowledge to an ignorant person saying that you are ignorant, you will not understand. If that person had knowledge, they will not ask us only. They are ignorant, therefore they are asking. If a doctor says, you are sick, don't come to me. Now what is the point? So ignorant person only will ask question. But then they are not able to understand. They are not able to understand. That's why they are asking. Are we ready to take the challenge to make them understand in their own language? And then there is something else. And that is what Sri Krishna teaches us. That if you have an opportunity, people ask. Very rarely do they ask. If they are asking, it's a good thing. If Arjuna said, okay, fine. He is established in the self, understood. Okay, now what should I do? Now when are you taking me to the forest? Nothing happened to you. I am telling you all this for you only. Yeah, I heard, I understood. Okay, enough now. That is disinterest, that is indifference. Here he has listened to Krishna attentively with faith, and now he is raising this question. It is such a good thing. That is why Gurudev always used to say, if youth are asking questions, they are not defying or they are not showing their lack of faith. In fact, they are asking because they want to know. And Arjuna is that representative of that youth. Now, how will one explain to someone something that is beyond words, and the one who does not have that ability only to understand? It is very easy. You experience, then you will know. But how do I experience? So all these explanations we have to understand is only to inspire the student to walk the path and gain it for oneself. So there's so many places, especially in the Gita talks and all, he has said so many times, don't accept anything I say just like that. Said your attitude should be, used to say, longer the beard, greater the suspicion. And he would encourage, ask questions. But what is the spirit of asking questions? He said, if you don't believe, prove it by doing. Follow the instruction, walk the path, and prove it to the world that this is all lie. This is not right. You would encourage, you openly challenge. Do it and show to the world this is useless. Let the world not remain in ignorance if you can prove it wrong. But do it. Now, this is how Gurudev inspired. Here Sri Krishna is inspiring Arjuna. So it is not that description of the man of realization, it is exactly as he is. It cannot be. Because it is beyond words. How can it be? But there are very, very precise indicators in both these. What is he as his vision and what is his interaction? Both ways, very beautiful ways of communication. As it is said, this communication is not to evaluate anybody. And Arjuna is also not asking to evaluate people. He is not after that concluding that, oh, I understood Krishna, you are one of them. Okay, now I will listen to you. No, he doesn't conclude, whatever he says, he doesn't conclude about somebody else. He is asking for what? There is a very beautiful principle in the scriptures. Siddhasya lakshanani sadhakasya sadhanani, means that which is natural for a person who has realized the self is the effort for an aspirant. So if something is natural, a man of knowledge, this is how he interacts with people. For me, that is how I should interact. That's a benchmark. That is a guideline. That is a direction for me. So if a man of realization is found to be whatever description or indication will be given here, that is for me a direction that I should try and get these qualities through effort. But it comes to the man of realization effortlessly. So for them it is effortless, for me it has to be with effort. This is the spirit with which it has to be understood. And Gurudev very beautifully says, Sri Krishna must have definitely explained beautifully, but it has been presented in this poetry form by Vedavyasji. And he describes this poetry, the verses that follow here, they are like a word painting. Word painting. And Gurudev explains, we should read the commentary of this, Gurudev's commentary of this portion especially. So much in detail he talks about. He says just a painting when we see, a painting can capture movement, it can show movement. But it doesn't have depth, it doesn't have that life. A sculpture on the other hand can have this 3D effect, there is depth, there is life, but the movement is arrested. There is no movement that can be shown in sculpture. Here, the word painting has to have the movement of the painting and the life and the depth of a sculpture put together. This is one challenge, number one. And the second challenge, Gurudev beautifully gives an example. There's once he's narrated his own experience. Once he was invited to somebody's house. An artist was there. He was a Rangoli artist. And he had spent days not hours, days together to create a Rangoli on water in a trough. And he had put it in a room which he had closed, and he was himself very careful, and he had done the Rangoli on water. Days together spent to do that. And because we understand that the medium of water is very difficult, it shakes, all the powder will go down, all the Rangoli will be destroyed. So you can't even breathe heavily. And because Gurudev was going to come to town, he did it for Gurudev. And he invited that, I've done it a long time it has taken. Please come and just one time Gurudev should see it, that's all, then I'm blessed. So much of effort, and then, okay. Now, Gurudev went there, and Gurudev goes, then it is like when the news spreads, then he can't go alone. There will be an army which follows him. So everybody. So then the artist welcomed Gurudev and then took him to that room. And then behind 20 people peeping, what is there, what is there, let us see, let us see. And then Gurudev is going, and he was so pleased with what he saw, and then he appreciated the artist, and he was spending time, he was observing, enjoying that whole thing. The artist is enjoying his moment that his guru has come and is blessing his art and all that thing. So such a beautiful moment was there. All these devotees, somebody felt, "Oh, it's a warm day, and Gurudev is there. He must be uncomfortable here. Where is the switch? Where is the switch? Tap, fan." All that hard work, days together, somebody has done that. Fan, dump, over. End of the Rangoli. So Gurudev says so much, but at least he saw it, after that it went away. So the thing is, Gurudev is saying that here the word painting that is being made by Bhagavan Vedavyasa is on the mind, the canvas of the mind, which is more fickle than water. Making a rangoli or water is easier than painting a picture on the mind. Saying Sri Krishna is painting this word picture on the canvas of the mind of Arjuna. And that is what Sri Vedavyasa is doing on the canvas of our mind. Now, if we understand this, we can understand all these words. If they are not received with a still, calm mind, then it will be like that rangoli only. It will go and settle down at the bottom. No beauty, no understanding. And we say, I have memorized all these 18 verses. Because Gurudev used to say, memorize all these 18 verses. I have memorized. Okay, but anything happened? That I don't know. Why? Because the fan is going on. Agitation of the mind. That is why these verses, it is important to make our canvas steady for Bhagavan himself to paint this picture of the man of realization. So now Bhagavan begins. It's beautiful. 18 verses. Beautiful verses. Some of the most beautiful verses of Bhagavad Gita, I can say. So verse number 55. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Prajahati yada kaman Sarvan partha manogatan Atmanyevatmana tushtaha Sthita prajnastadochyate. Here also we see yada, tada. When, then. So when this condition is fulfilled, then tada sthita prajna uchyate. Then that person is called sthita prajna. So now here the language is not that person who is doing this. Such a person is called sthita prajna. It is not like that. That definition is not like that. Here the word used is when a person achieves this, then he is called sthita prajna. So what does this indicate? It indicates that it is available for anyone and everyone. All that is required is when this happens, then one is called Sthita Prajna. Tada Sthita Prajna Uchyate. Then that person is called Sthita Prajna, irrespective of that person, whether it's man or woman, young or old, the nationality, community, religion, faith, anything, nothing matters. If this is there, that person is called Sthita Prajna. And the first question was what? How is Sthita Prajna defined? By himself. Who is he? What is his vision? What is his, what are his own properties? Not about interacting with others. By himself, how is he? So here he's saying, for the sake of language, we are using the pronoun he. Okay? And Sthita Prajna, as per grammar also, is a masculine noun. But this does not mean that it is not for anybody else. Because nowadays pronouns have become a very major issue of discussion. I use this pronoun. We have to indicate which pronoun. So this pronoun is only for language sake, otherwise all pronouns included in Sthita Prajna. Okay? He, she, it, they, whatever you want to use. So here, basically, ultimately the experience has to be as I. There is no change. Acha. So now he is saying, Yada, when this condition is fulfilled. What condition is fulfilled? Prajahati. Beginning itself. Prajahati means gives up. Give. First step itself, giving up. What is this, Bhagavan? Something gain, you should say, no, giving up. So that is what is first required. Give up. Okay. And that also not jahati. Jahati means, okay, giving up. Prajahati means giving up in such a way that you don't pick it up again. Prakarshena jahati means never pick up again. Given up forever. Oh, so well that there are not even traces remaining. What do I have to give up? Tell me. What is it that I have to give up? Kaman. Kaman means desires. Giving up desires. Okay. Yeah, I have given desire. Oh, really? Yes. I think I will fit in. I have given up desire. I said, what desire? You said no that you wanted to go on a world tour. Yes. And that I have given up. But it was my desire, not yours. But your desire I have given up, right? So it is not talking about my desire. It is talking about your desire. Manogatan. In your mind, whatever desires come up to be given. Oh, so my desires you're talking? Yes. That come in my mind? Yes. Oh, so those desires which come in my mind, I have to give up. Okay. That also I have given up. Oh, really? Yes. See, as a child, I had desires for getting toys and playing with toys and all. I have given up all of them. I think I am Sthita Prajna. No, dear Partha. Sarvan Kaman. All desires. What? Yes. So one who gives up all desires that arise in the mind, and when it is said sarvan means past, present and future also. No desire at all. Not even in the future. No. Not my long time desire I have cherished in my... Give it up. How is it possible to give up desire? And this is the question that majority of people have. Is it possible to live? And they will say, no, Krishna Bhagavan says all these things. Is it practical? As though Bhagavan is talking impractical things. It's practical only because Arjuna is a practical person. So he is giving practical tips only. No, no, how is it practical? Giving up all desire, then I'll die only. And for this also Gurudev used to very beautifully say. There is no desire. The desire everybody has. He is a politician, he has a desire to be in power. A student, he has a desire to excel in studies. A sportsman, he has a desire to win a medal. An actor or someone has a desire to become famous. And he used to say, and a Swami has a desire to build one more ashram. So desire may be there. So then how one can live without desire? And then he would say, anyone here, and thousands of people will be sitting in front of him. Say, anyone here, anybody who has no desire in your mind, if you claim you have no desire, he would say, stand up, go at the back and lie down. Why? Because after this class is over, we will carry you on our shoulder and bury or cremate you as required. Because if you are alive, you will have desire. So he will say, then how this is said that no desire should be there, all desire should be given up? It is death. That's what people will say. But that is why the second line is important. Otherwise, it will be like, I have no desire. Then what do I do? There is no desire at all. So he says, what? I have no desire because, second line. What is the second line? Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. I am, tushtaha means fulfilled, satisfied by myself, in myself. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. By myself, in myself, I am satisfied, fulfilled. And because of this fulfillment, which is not dependent on anything, there is no desire. So these points will be elaborated further in the following chapters. And there, Bhagavan has said also that there may be some basic things like, just for the upkeep of the body. There will be some basic things that, okay, I'll take bath and I'll have food and all. That is not called desire here in that sense. Because that a person of knowledge may have those kind of things. But it is not called as desire that will, hold us back. It is not going to interfere in any way in his experience of the self. It is like if I have a desire of maintaining my car. Okay, I maintain my car. No, that is not going to any way harm my identity. It's not interfering in my identity. My identity, I know, is separate from the car. I am not the car. And being not the car also, I can maintain my car. So here, Atmani eva atmana tushtaha, I am fulfilled by myself, in myself, therefore, I don't have any desire. I don't want this and without this I cannot live. That kind of situation is not there. I want something to fulfill myself, otherwise I am incomplete. Such things are not there. So I am fulfilled. Now with that fulfillment, if there is a desire, like Gurudev explained, that okay, a Swami also has a desire to build one more ashram. Now what is that desire? That desire, number one, is not going to create any burden or stress on the person. That desire is not for any personal gain also. And the desire is floated in the universe and it gets fulfilled, If it doesn't, the person is not affected. But it is for the well-being of society, not for oneself. This is the same spirit with which even Vishwamitra Rishi, he took Bhagavan for the Yajna Raksha. He performed Yajna. For what? And if we say a sannyasi should not perform any fire ritual, But why was he doing it? Because he was not doing it for himself. He was doing it for the well-being of the whole universe. And because he was doing it for the well-being of the whole universe, Bhagavan himself came to protect that. So it was not any selfish desire. So such people have desires, which is the desire of the totality. They become, in modern words, a channel. So it is not their desire. They have given up all desire. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. So such a person is fulfilled in oneself. So doesn't need anything. What is a desire? If we can understand a desire is wanting something to complete myself. If I get this, I'll feel complete. That is what it is. Or now this complete word we may not use. We may say, if I get this, I'll be happy. I'll be happy means what? Without this, I was not happy. I was not happy means what? I was feeling incomplete. When happiness comes, I'll be complete. So I was feeling incomplete. Then I feel that this thing will fill that gap and I'll feel complete, I'll feel happy. This is called desire. So the desire is actually on the foundation of feeling of incompleteness. Now where did this feeling of incompleteness come? The scriptures say, I am that self which is infinite. Now if I am the blissful infinite self, why do I feel incomplete? Only reason can be ignorance. So what is the foundation of desire? Ignorance. And what is the foundation of fulfillment? Knowledge. So this man of knowledge is fulfilled in oneself, means knows himself to be the infinite self, therefore doesn't have that feeling of incompleteness, therefore doesn't feel the need to complete himself, therefore there is no desire. So desire, if it is there, ignorance is there. If knowledge comes and destroys the ignorance, there is no scope of having any desire. It is not possible to have any desire. That is why in this verse, the more important part is Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha. And its expression is, rather its outcome is Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan. Because of fulfillment in oneself, one has given up all the desires. And when that happens, Sthita Prajna. Such a person at that time is called Sthita Prajna. So he may say, oh, Bhagavan, I think I am that. What? Yes. Thank you for introducing me to myself. I think I am Sthita Prajna. I am going to, just yesterday I printed new visiting cards. I should have put this. Had I got to know yesterday, what to do? Okay. Title, Sthita Prajna, Swami Avyayananada. I should have that title. I am this. You are this. How do you say you are this? How do you claim that you are this? I am satisfied within myself. I don't need anything. There is no feeling of incompleteness. Really, when? See, Yada Tada is given. When and then? When I go to sleep. There is no incompleteness in me. I don't desire anything. So, Yada means when I am sleeping, Tada, that time, I am Sthita Prajna. Got it. So, problem is waking up is the problem. That is why I am saying alarms not required. Don't wake me up in the morning. This whole theory of getting up early and doing sadhana, not required. This is the state we are aspiring for. Deep sleep, dreamless sleep. This is what we need. New theory. That is me. Bhagavan listens to us and Arjuna, I thought you were listening to all this. But one point you missed out. Oh, what is that? What is that? I told you, remember? Nistray Gunyo Bhavarjuna. Go beyond all the three gunas. And this is the state which is beyond the three gunas, which you have asked. If it is beyond three gunas, then how can it be deep sleep state? Because deep sleep state is the state of tamoguna. Cannot be. Bhagavan, I was happy for some time. You destroyed my happiness also. I thought at least while sleeping I am sthita prajna. And then you consider yourself sthita prajna while sleeping, no problem. And we don't mind accepting that you are sthita prajna while sleeping, because if you sleep, it is good for the world, less disturbance. So go sleep only. But here it is not talking about a state of sleep. And the question also is not talking about a person who is sleeping. The question is talking about speaking, sitting, wandering around. So that cannot happen in sleep. So here question is also not about sleeping, and sleep is a tamogonic state, so that it cannot be the answer to this question. Therefore, here sleep is not referred to. So that is not valid. Oh, so you have to be awake also, you have to be fulfilled also, and you have to have no desire. Yes, that is difficult. Otherwise, every day when I sit for meditation, I experience this. Because I sit like this and I get up like this. Complete Sita Prajna. So that is not what it is. Very beautifully, Bhagavan takes Arjuna through this journey and through Arjuna us also. So we will see that further tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.